I believe in both.
Yeah.
But there's a time when it comes to work smart. And most people are trying to do the smart work before they do the hard work. It's kind of like talent, right? You don't notice if you're talented at something until all the hard work's done.
Yep.
I could be the most talented tennis player in the world, but I don't play tennis. So if I go down the tennis court, Joe Schmo is going to smoke me. I don't get to see my talent until I've worked so hard that I'm in the top 1%, and now I'm beating them because I have some God-given gift.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You have to do the hard work first. If there's no hard work, there's no smart work. So someone's going to sit there and go, I work smart, I don't work hard, so I only have to work an hour a day. If working smart gets you a lot done in an hour a day, then you should work smart for 12 hours a day and get 12 times the work done. I am absolutely and utterly a believer in hard work. I'm a proponent of hard work. I have all this money and all I do is work. My entire life is work. This podcast is work. I'm getting in the car. I'm going to another meeting. Work. I'm going to fuck a bitch. That's work. She's going to be on my arm at the fucking Cannes on the film festival. That's more credibility. I consider it work to fuck her. That's work. I'm going to go to the gym so I'm in good shape. Work. It's all work. My entire life is work. And people don't want to look at life that way. They want to talk about work-life balance and being lazy and all this crap. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in if you want to win, you have to outcompete the man who's prepared to do nothing but work. It's player versus player. If you're going to sit there and go, I don't want to work more than an hour a day, well, the guy who does want to work more than an hour a day is going to beat you. And no matter how smart you are, there's always a smart dude who's doing the same smart work you are for more hours than you're doing it. That's just the nature of the game. And this is why we talk about things like passive income. Passive income's a fucking scam. I'm tired of people coming to me saying, I want to make passive income. And I sit there and say, it's not about it being a scam. It's about the mentality towards it is a scam. Look, everyone loves passive money, right? I make money as I sleep. Yep. I get it. You need to de-link your time to your money, because if you're only working for money, you run out of time, you can't make enough money. I understand all those principles. My point is, if you have no money and you're coming to me saying, I want to make passive income, why are you not making active income? Get up off your ass and work first. Because there's no such thing as completely, truly 100% passive. You're going to have to check on it. You're going to have to maintain it. You're going to have to find a new tenant for that property. You're going to have to make sure that DeFi crypto farm you're in doesn't go to zero. It's not a rug pull. Yeah. You're always going to have to keep an eye on it, right? But the idea that people with no money are already so concerned with making money without work is amazing to me. You should be worried about active income. If you show me, if I'm a brokey and you show me how to make $1,000 an hour, I don't sit there and go, okay, but how can I make that passive? I go, cool, I'm making $18,000 a day because I'm going to work. Dude, you don't need to worry about passive income until you have no more time. I look at passive income because I have 18 hours a day I work. When all 18 of those hours are done and my workload still isn't finished, I have to find a way to make some of those income streams passive, either via staff or whatever else. Yep. And that's how I work smart. I use all of my time, and when all my time is done, now I have to become more efficient so that I can get more done within the same time frame. To sit there and say, I don't want to use my time, so I want passive income is dumb shit. The 16-year-old making 45 grand a month, if he was to sit to me and go, I don't want to make the TikToks, I want someone else to do it, make it passive, that he wouldn't be making any money. He's just working. You have to just work. At some point, you have to bite the bullet and just work. So when someone comes to me talking about passive income and they're a brokey, I'm like, you are just lazy. You are lazy. You will never get anywhere. Lazy people never get anywhere in life. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's tennis or money. If you're lazy, you're never going to get there. It's true, but it's fucking true, bro. They're lazy. And another thing about people is they're quitters. I can't stand quitters. We have a thing inside Hustlers University. If someone unsubscribes, I ban them.
Is it?
Yeah, you're not allowed to rejoin. Yeah. And they email me like, oh, sorry, I had a problem with my card. I want to rejoin. I don't need members. I got money. I do not need your membership. I do not need you. It's not a business where we need you. You need us, right? So if you're the kind of person who's going to quit because it's hard, then fuck off. I don't even want your energy around me, because quitters are the worst people on the planet. You can give a quitter absolutely everything and they will still fail. You can give it doesn't matter what it is. If you go to IKEA and buy a flat pack fucking table and put it in front of a quitter, you will never have a table. He'll look at it, it's just long, and he'll quit. Quitters can have every single advantage. Quitters can have all the information. Quitters can have all the tutelage. Quitters can have a mentorship. Quitters can have someone who messages them every morning, hey bro, let's get it. And guess what they're gonna do at the end? Quit. They ain't never gonna have shit. So if you're a quitter, I don't even want you even inside my organization. I don't want quitters anywhere near me, because you're never going to be successful. And the people who join and then quit because they had to do an hour's work are the people who come along and go, Tate, maybe it's a scam. Idiots. Peons. They will stay brokies and wagies forever. Leave them there, right? You need the people who don't quit. I don't quit. Every single facet of my life is testament to the fact that I don't quit. When people see my plane in the sky, you can say whatever you want about me. You can call me arrogant. You can call me anything you want, but you cannot call me a quitter. I didn't quit. So that's the difference. When it was hard, I did it anyway. That's who I've always been. And if you don't have that kind of tenacity, you're never going to be anything. So the people who come along and talk about passive income, they sound like quitters to me. They sound like people who don't want to work. I love work. I'm ready to work. I'll dig a hole. Bro, you offer me $1 billion right now and give me a shovel, I'll dig a hole. I don't give a fuck. Give me the shovel, give me the money. I will dig a hole. I'm not afraid of work.
I think it's, and it's brutal self-accountability. And I would argue that brutal self-accountability, you talk about the revolution in your own mind, I think self-accountability is an extremely masculine trait. I think the most successful men on earth are brutally self-accountable. I can talk for myself. I blame absolutely everything on myself. Everything is my fault. Even the Matrix attack, which put me in jail, which was complete garbage, I will sit and take accountability before, because I think it allows me to be as performative as possible. It allows me to be as competitive as I can possibly be if I take all accountability for everything. I take accountability for it raining outside. I should have brought an umbrella. My fault. So I think that's a very masculine way to look at the life, that absolute accountability. And when I look at men who are weak, they don't have self-accountability. It's someone else's fault or society's fault, or they're depressed, or they're an alcoholic, or they're addicted, or, they need therapy. It's someone else's fault and their parents are mean. I think accountability is a very masculine trait. And by teaching men to be hyper self-accountable, you're right, we will fix a lot of these problems. But that is toxically masculine. A man who is hyper self-accountable and blames everything on himself will be a very competitive person, and he will try very hard to be the best version of himself. But he's the kind of person that the far left people are going to hate, because that's how you end up. I think as any kind of man who's worth his salt, I'll give you a load of examples. 10 years ago, I broke down, and it was actually in London. My car busted, and I went to knock on a door. This is 10 years ago. My phone had no battery. I went to knock on a door, and I saw in the window that was a woman and her two kids, and I thought, no, I don't want to scare her. I'm scary. My intentions are pure, but I'm a big man with a bald head. I'm 6'4". I'm not going to just go knock on some random woman's door. No, I'll wait and stand by the side of the road. So that was self-accountability. That was me sitting here going, even though my intentions are completely pure, I don't even want her to worry. I don't want her to feel a single drop of fear at any point inside of her mind. So that's absolute self-accountability in all things. And I think that's how a man should operate. And I completely agree with you with the revolution inside of your own mind. Completely agree. But then we also need to get over this cowardice. There's so many men that agree with us who are afraid to say they agree with us, or they agree until the heat appears and they cuck. And the problem with that is that you're giving this very small percentile of the population this insane power. And we can't do that. You have to be a man. Men, since the dawn of time, if they had an opinion, they stood up and defended it. And I'm prepared to argue with anybody who disagrees with me respectfully. I'm happy to sit there and debate any topic, but I'm not going to completely bend over and pretend I don't have the opinion I do. And I don't know why we have this massive pandemic of cowardice amongst men who are afraid to say, leave my children alone. There's men who's afraid to protect their own offspring. And that's what worries me, because it shows that this very small percentile of the population are succeeding in their war because they're scaring, just like this woman, whoever she is, said she wants men to be afraid. They're scaring men from having an opinion that they're prepared to vocalize. And that leads to the absolute death of Western society. Completely agree. And just to make a point to expand on the point you made earlier about women being mothers, I completely agree with that. And in my experience, and I only talk from experience, because to be honest with you, I don't believe a single thing which is printed by the Matrix ever. My life is personal experience. I don't believe anything. I don't care what they say on the news. I think it's all a lie. But let's talk from my personal experience. I can talk from personal experience and guarantee the world that most women still innately want to have children and be mothers. What makes a woman inspired to be a mother is a masculine man. Let me give you an example. If a woman gets with a guy and he's playing video games and smoking weed and he's lazy and he doesn't make very much money, then she's very motivated by her career because she feels like she has to take care of herself. In my experience, if a woman gets with a man like me, who she knows can financially provide for her forever, who she knows can physically protect her forever, who she knows can take care of her, it takes less than a week before she starts talking about wanting children because she feels secure. By creating masculine men who can do the duty of protecting and providing, you will see how quickly women actually want to be mothers. But they're in a catch-22 also. To be fair to women, it's difficult for women to say, I want to be a mother, when most men are scumbags and they're just going to end up a single mother or on their own or used or have to provide for themselves. So once again, how do we make women want to be mothers? By making men masculine. I think that creating masculine men and strong men will also fix, because the two genders are yin and yang. You can't separate them. They operate together. If you destroy one, you destroy the other, and it's a race to the bottom. And the reason I am talking about improving men instead of improving women, I believe if you improve women, men will improve, and if you improve men, women will improve. But I am a man, so I talk to men, and I try and make men better men, and I think that's good for men and women. And it's crazy that feminists attack me for trying to make men better versions of themselves, not understanding that it's massively beneficial to their own gender as well as men. And the Matrix is going to be, to all the people out there who aren't supporting you, I want to make it very clear. I can talk from absolute experience. If you think you can reason with these people, if you think if you lay down, they'll stop kicking you, then you're going to be very surprised by how rabid and how feverish they are in their quest for blood. And it's kind of interesting. If you're legacy media, and I don't know, let me make up a fake scenario. Let's imagine you're legacy media and you're a sexual predator. They'll mention it for 48 hours and then it will go away, right? This is, of course, this is imaginary. I can't name like 10. But if you're legacy media and you do something horrible, they'll mention it for 48 hours and it goes away. But if you're anything against the Matrix, anything you've ever done ever will be brought up and endlessly they'll twist the knife as much as they can possibly twist it. And laying down and saying, oops, I'm a pussy, is not going to make them feel sorry for you. In fact, it makes it worse. And you said what you said, you mean what you said at the time. You said it in perhaps a way that was uncouth, but the basic underpinning was any man with standards would be unattracted to a woman who hates him. I don't like women or men who hate me. So one's lemon and one's pineapple. Do you understand me? You understand me? You catch me, Pond Road, me walking by myself. Glock's always in the hand because my holster's broken. That's me. I just had lemon and pineapple. You hear me? What do you mean? You want to mug me? You want what I have? I had lemon and pineapple. Pussy. Fuck with me. I dare you. Try some. Little bitch. Right. So back to the point. I was having a very interesting conversation with a woman who is sane, because there's a lot of sane women out there. Just as Lawrence highlighted, 99% of women like strong masculine men. I had a conversation with a woman who was sane. And let me find the tweet, because it was a very poignant point I made. Like all of my points, they're always poignant. Top G. It's actually an interesting point about someone who said, when I mentioned men who have to run into burning buildings, I said, they don't care how sad men are. They don't care if we kill ourselves. If you mention it, they start mentioning how women don't get paid enough for some other conflation garbage. How we feel means nothing to society until they need us to run into a burning building. And then someone said, even if we do run into the burning building, they will say, you think women can't run into burning buildings? You could save lives and they'll still hate you. TatePledge.com. It's on the bottom. You can see on the banner. I feed millions of children every single year. MSM won't mention it. The news will not mention that I feed children. No, I'm a bad person, even though I've done more good for the world than they've ever done. And then if you do let them run into the burning building, they'll say, what's happening to men today? Why are they letting women run into a burning building? It's all hypocrisy and double standards. Doesn't even make sense. It's incredible. So the musing I had, I was talking to a woman, and she's a Islamic woman. She's a Muslim girl. And she's saying how her dad is still in charge. She's 26, but her dad is her boss. And her dad chooses everything. And she's talking about the Western world and how Western women don't respect men anymore. And their fathers and their brothers have no control over them. And we were just discussing, it was a long conversation. We were discussing different worldviews, but it was quite interesting. Because a woman said this to me. She said, we've entered a new reality where every bad decision a woman has ever made is reframed into some sort of abuse post-event. Right? So a woman will do something she regrets. She'll go out and get drunk and sleep with a guy. She regrets it because she knows it's wrong. It's haram. It hurts her in her heart. 10 years later, she will tell the world she was abused. She was tricked. But truthfully, it was a lot of the time her own decision. Right? And this is from the Muslim girl's own mouth. She said, it's interesting. Females demand to be sovereign, to reject the guidance of their fathers, reject the guidance of their partners, reject the guidance of their uncles and the men who love them and care for them. And they want to do anything they want. Yet when they regret their own actions, it's always some other man's fault. So you have to make a choice here. Women are intelligent and can make their own choices, meaning they don't need guidance from men. Fine. But if you're going to say every bad thing I've ever done, a man tricked me, then what you're saying is, I can't be trusted to make my own decisions. If that's the case, then you need your father. You need the uncles. You need the brothers. Which one is it? We live in society now where the women say, I want absolute control over my own life and no guidance from men. But if a man does something to me, or if I do something with a man, I later regret it. I was tricked. You can't have both. I believe women are intelligent enough to make their own decisions. I'm not a misogynist. I think women can make their own decisions. Fine. But to sit and say we reject all guidance, yet we are easily tricked endlessly, is asinine and hypocritical. Doesn't make sense. You have to make a choice. In some areas of society on this planet, they made the choice that men guide the women to prevent bad things from happening to them. The West has made the choice that men can't guide women. That's fine. But then why do we then come along and pretend that women can be so easily tricked into every bad thing they've ever done? Again, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It is a logic fail. As my father would like to say, logic fail. You can think of me as your big brother. Top G's in your corner. My big G, top G, he's got my back. He's sticking up for all us men out there that are hated, ignored, not cared about, destroyed with false allegations, told we're bad just for being men in the first place. That's what I'm out here doing, saying, listen, I'm a man, a traditionally masculine man, and I am a good person. I'm a good person. I don't do anything bad to anybody. In fact, everybody who knows me's life is better via proxy. If you know me, your life is better. There's not a single friend I have, not a single family member I have, male or female, whose life does not improve endlessly via proxy from knowing me. Your bills are paid, Ferrari's on the drive. Big G got your back. That's who I am. That's what a man should do. He should stand up, protect his family, care about his country, care about his empire, be a man. I've got all your backs. I'm here to tell the truth. I'm martyring myself. They're trying to destroy me and put me in jail because I'm standing up for you, for sitting here saying he's a man and he's allowed an opinion. But I've got lemon and pineapple. You hear me? And tobacco. Bruv, if I go back to jail, I swear, as my witness, wallahi, before God, when any of them, when I'm alone in a room with a gang, 5-on-1, and they've got a shank, my last words are going to be, I had lemon and pineapple. Do you understand me? Ananas, citrus. I hope you understand English. Motherfucker, lemon and pineapple. Pussy. Die a beautiful death at war. Stabbed to death in Romanian jail. The end of Top G. I'll still be a ghost. I'll be around. Don't worry about me. Men die at war. I'm not afraid. It is what it is. Allah is the best of planners. This is lemon. Some kind of lemon peel and tobacco. I know what's in it. When you get a vape, that's watermelon ice. There's no watermelon. There's no ice. How they make it taste exactly like watermelon ice is what scares me. It tastes like they say. It does taste like watermelon ice. What chemicals taste like watermelon ice? I don't know. I don't want to find out. It can't be good for you. Produced in China for 35 cents. Sold to you for $10. Think they give a shit that you're inhaling petrochemicals? Wonder you got skinny little arms like a bitch. Petrochemicals. Bro, vape. Slap the vape from your face. I've never seen a G with a vape, ever. Tate, I want to kill this version of me to become the warrior I know I can be. If you contact me, I'll prove it. My coach used to say something to me. He used to say, we're going to build you a new body. And to build a new body, your old one has to die. And then he would destroy me in training. And he was right. You do have to kill the weak version of yourself to become the best version of yourself. That is true. The fact you need me to contact you for you to do that and become the best version of yourself shows that you're still a weakling. If you want to be the best version of yourself, go and do it. You don't owe it to anyone but your ancestors. I'm not going to come along and contact you and make you become successful and relevant. You can become successful and relevant by yourself. And if you're truly about it, we will meet in person inside the war room. I only meet people who join the war room. That's the only way to ever see me. You will never see me in person any other way besides the war room. If you want to shake my hand, you know exactly how. Join the real world, join the war room, and we will meet. And you can become the best version of yourself. If I refuse to send you emails all day, bro, I'm a billionaire. B. You think I'm going to sit there and email you all day and try and encourage you to stop being a little bitch? If you want to be a little bitch and you need my help that badly, then just stay one. Safe. Don't care. My life's good. Stay a pussy. I'm not interested.
Imagine that's the way I lost my face. Sorry, Andrew. I no longer have a face. I couldn't resist my blue raspberry ice mocha vape.
So gay.
I think you should never talk to me again if that happens to me.
It's ridiculous. How can that happen as a person? That is ridiculous. I agree with you.
Whereas smoking 4 cigarettes at once is not healthy, but is the better way to get nicotine.
If you train every day, you can smoke as much as you want.
I train every single day.
If you train like an animal, you can smoke. You just have to go beat people up every single day. How many days of the week do we train?
You know what I'll say? 7.
7!
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll actually say? Because I want to elaborate on your amazing point. The type of people who say, "Hey, Tristan, shouldn't smoke," are the type of people who never do any training, and I could snap their necks with my hand, my bare hand. Talk about healthy. In a room by yourself with me, I could murder you while smoking a cigarette.
So besides absolutely everybody getting canceled endlessly for having an opinion or breathing.
Who's next? Who's next? Who's going to be the next person who they're going to say has committed some sort of sexual assault against an unknown faceless person who appears out of nowhere and with no court case and no police involved, completely lose their entire platform and have every single social media company in the world and bank and app ban them and demand that they can't make money? Who's next? Predictions?
Nobody is safe from this
I don't
garbage.
give them any ideas.
You understand me? Look at my big hand. Look at my knuckles. I crush skulls, bro. 87 professional fights. I break bones. I pierce the skin with my hand. They suffer eternally. You think I give a shit if people get my fucking joke? You must be careful, G.
This podcast is a joke.
Do you see someone put a picture for us on a football screen? I don't watch football, but we just found this. Look at this.
Go on.
Let me Mr. Produce it. Mr. Producer. Right. What'd you say? I wasn't listening. I was listening to drum bass.
I'm not listening to you.
No, you were saying something. I wasn't listening.
You know, people were messaging me. This emergency meeting is missing you, Tristan. You need to go and jump on the emergency meeting when the interview's done. And I'm hearing you're playing drum and bass at me. I might quit emergency meetings forever.
I want to find a way to donate each week to Tate Pledge. I hope in the real world I'll make more and more money and I'll never give up. Let's talk about Tate Pledge. Tate Pledge is for War Room members only. It is a gift to be able to give. To be able to give to people and help people with a charity that genuinely actually works. We're not bullshit like every other charity, which is all admin. If you give money to most charities, 95% of it disappears into the pockets of liberal elites. It's garbage. We actually go to the ground. If you give us $100,000, $100,000 worth of food is purchased. All the admin fees which are related are paid for by me. All of the money for the charity comes from myself, personally, my pocket, and War Room members. It's a gift to give. You must be a member of the War Room before you're allowed to give to Tate Pledge. I do not open it up for donations from anyone else. I have plenty of money. I'm happy to give my own money. I do it for my own karma and peace of mind, and I like knowing I fed them. It's for War Room members only. So if you truly want to help the world, first you need to join the War Room, establish yourself amongst our brotherhood, and then you will have the opportunity and possibility to donate and save the world. So what do you do? Let's have an intelligent conversation, because you always drag the bar down with your stupid video. What do you do in a society where all of the systems which are designed to preserve sanity and keep you safe, for example, the medical system, the judicial system, the financial system, all the systems which you've relied on, the educational system, all of these systems which are designed to create good citizens of a respectable society and preserve sanctimonium amongst the populace, actually corrupted and gay?
Well, that's actually a very scary thing because, you know, as people know, I am a father. And I like the idea that rape and crimes against women are punished severely by a judicial system. But it's very, very scary when that same system that's used to defend the weak can be used by anybody to punish the people who they don't like. Punish for no reason. Because as you said to Lawrence, quite rightfully so, the process is the punishment. You don't need to be found guilty of anything. You don't need to be found guilty of anything for the punishment to happen. But that same system can be weaponized against you. It's actually very, very scary, and I don't know what the solution to this problem is.
So every single system that you need for a society to function is corrupted. What can you do? What can you do about that? How are you supposed to live as a man today knowing that every single system is against you purely because you were born male? They assume your gender, and they assume you have a penis, which of course is bigoted in and of itself, and then every single system is automatically geared to your demise.
And now that we've made far more friends in the political sphere, and now that we are far more interested in politics than we were even before all of this, wait till my name is clear, and the BBC can't say X candidate endorsed by human trafficker. Wait till I clear my name. I will be telling young men to go out there and to vote for X person. I think we all know who I'm talking about. There's actually candidates in lots of countries, from right here to the United States to the UK, and I will talk about politics and the pros and cons of the various candidates. And when my name is clear, I will put my good, clear name behind the people who are trying to do good, clean politics. And that's what they are afraid of doing. And now they've made you do it. So I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. But that's what they were afraid of. Your ability to influence the number one demographic of people who typically don't vote or care about politics in the world to get interested in fixing the countries of the world and fixing the issues that affect us all. And now here we are.
Do you think we're going to win this war? Where do you think we're going to be in 50 years from now? 50 years from now, is the West completely fallen, or has it been saved somehow? And how would it be saved?
I don't know. But I do know in 10 years, the world's going to be a better place. I know in 10 years, the 14, 15-year-old boys who are listening to us today, they are going to be policemen. They are going to be in positions in society, and they are not going to abuse their authority. I feel like if the police force, if Andrew had come along in the 1990s and influenced young men to learn from him and to have all the attributes he tries to instill in young men, when the government came along in 2021, for example, and said, hey, police officers, go and shove these masks on everyone's face. Oh, you see an old lady in Australia, tackle her to the ground, crack her head open, and put a mask on her. That's what you need to do. I feel like a generation with heroes like Andrew Tate will be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to go around tackling old women and shooting them with rubber bullets and locking people in their houses and not letting people attend the funerals of their loved ones. No, I'm the police force, and I'm not going to play ball with this bullshit. So I feel like the world is going to be a better place. It may be more polarized, but you're certainly going to have a lot more strong, capable men in the world if you and other voices like you keep talking.
You know, every time we think about COVID, I think about Guy. And this is a story that I haven't even told you yet, because it's a very insignificant story. But for some reason, it hasn't got a punchline, but it just comes to my head. During the height of the COVID insanity, I was flying from Stuttgart. I was at the airport, and I was sitting down in Germany at the airport without a mask on. I'm sitting there minding my business on my phone without a mask on. Police officer comes over to me. Armed police. MP5, Glock 17. I know my weapons. Mask. Comes up to me. Blah, blah, blah in German. And of course, because I'm Andrew Tate, I'm like, bruv, you better talk to me in English. I don't care what country we're in. Oh, didn't we beat you in a war? Sorry? Yeah. English, please. Mask. And I looked at him dead in his eye. The same way you look at a man you're about to hurt. And he looked at me back dead in my eye because he's got guns. And it was that tense moment between two men before they're about to fight. And I said to him, why do you care? Mask. Says it again. And kind of, he doesn't point the gun at me, but he moves it. I looked at him, got mask out my pocket, stared him in the eyes the whole time, got mask out my pocket, put it on my ear, half hung it on my chin, covered my bottom lip only, and went back to my phone. He walks off. Does that dickhead ever look in the mirror and realize he's a fucking moron? I hope he's watching this by some fluke. Some fluke. Hans, the German police officer. I hope he's now watching this. Does he ever sit and go, I was a moron walking around the airport with a gun, threatening people to put a mask on their chin just because I needed everyone to comply like I did because I'm a pussy, and seeing anyone not be a coward upsets me for being a coward. Does Hans ever look in the mirror? Because he's a person. He wakes up every day. He has a wife, probably, kids, a job, a house, a car. Does Hans ever wake up as this person somewhere on earth and go, I was a grade A moron?
No.
Or does he just wake up and go, I do my job and I must help with the, I can't do a German accent, fucking my fear or whatever. Who the fuck is this idiot?
No,
I can't stop thinking about this because I looked in his eyes. My eyes are black and brown. His eyes were like blue. And we looked at each other like he was about to go. And I was like, who is this guy?
I'll tell you why he doesn't feel sorry for himself, because I'm going to talk about another interaction I haven't told you about, I haven't told the world about. I was going to my barber here in Romania towards the end of this mask bullshit, maybe a week before they finally dropped the mask bullshit. So there I am, no mask, as always. I'm walking to my barber. I've got one of those cloth masks that doesn't work in my pocket. And I don't like to put them on. I don't like to wear masks. Yes, people were like, oh, here's a picture of you in a mask. I did wear one on a plane once. Like, you had to get around. But I walked into this place with no mask. Walking to the barber, this guy physically stops me. Hey, mask. I said, bro, I'm going to the barber. I got to take it off because he's got to cut my beard. No, mask. I said, bro, you're scared of COVID. Why are you up here in my face? I'm not wearing a mask. Why not social distance? Stand back there. And then I'll just walk to the barber and it's fine. This guy made a big fucking song and dance. I kept saying I didn't have one. And eventually I just walked off to the barber. He didn't have a gun. Walked up to the barber, sat down. 1 week later, masks were no longer the law. They were no longer mandatory. So maybe it was about 12, 13 days later. I was going to get my beard cut again, around that time period. And I walk into this place, past the Starbucks restaurant, walking towards my barber. Again, no mask. There are no masks. No one's wearing them, including this guy. And I see him sitting there in a chair, smiling, talking to his friend. So I confront him. I look at him in the chair and say, hey, bro. He looks at me. Yes? I said, you remember last week when you were fucking screaming about masks? Do you remember that? Well, yes, it's not the rules anymore. I said, what the fuck is your problem? What is wrong with you? Last week you were ready to try to kick me out of this mall, pull out your little stupid stick and get your ass kicked. You obviously didn't want the smoke from twice his fucking size.
Pineapple and lemon.
I'm a titan of a man.
Pineapple and lemon.
And I was like, why do you not care now? What are the rules? The rules. These people are programmed. Resist the slave mind is your slogan for a reason. And let me tell you, that German dickhead who you were talking about, who I'm hoping is watching this, is sleeping perfectly fine at home in his city next to his ugly fat wife with his kids who are probably transgender in a house that's probably getting firebombed, thinking, oh, das is good. Doesn't give a shit that he did that. Doesn't give one solitary fuck that he went around the airport waving his gun around, telling you to put a piece of paper on your lower chin to cover the bottom half of your beard. Paper! To defend against a deadly virus. This man doesn't give a shit. Resist the slave mind. And that is exactly my point, Andrew. In 5 years, in 10 years, young men who are listening to you are turning 18 every single day and entering the workforce and entering the police force. And good. The world needs policemen. The world needs firemen. The world needs doctors. The world needs all of these things. Good. But resist the slave mind, please, young men, and we can make the world a better place together. But no, Hans doesn't give a fuck. Das ist good.
Don't try and kill us one by one. They'll kill us both. Or we'll Aikido them. There's always that chance, Tate. When you and I are together, the bullet starts flying. I do Aikido. You do Aikido. Bust out the Lada. Aikido.
Yeah, the Lada's bulletproof. And you've seen the Glimmer Man when Mario Winans and Steven Seagal are together, right? And people try to get him. Doesn't work. Study the Glimmer Man.
We have met Steven Seagal and we do know Aikido.
Exactly.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be very hard to kill us.
Shisha, lemon, pineapple.
So yeah, controlling the masculine youth of the world. But sorry, Andrew, and in fact, can you give me a little bit of credit? When mask mandates ended, who had the coolest new rule?
You.
Me. What did I do? Why don't you tell the world what I did?
So Tristan's a G. So when mask mandates ended, obviously a certain population of the people, the sheeple, still wear a mask. And Tristan decided to enforce the law as stringently as they tried to enforce it against him. When masks were mandated, people would yell at Tristan to wear a mask. So when masks aren't mandated, Tristan quite rightfully, quite logically, would yell at people to not wear a mask. So we'd be driving down the road and there'd be someone standing at the traffic lights with a mask. And Tristan would get out of the car with Tristan, 6'4", 107 kilos, would get out of a Ferrari and go, take your mask off, take your mask off, take it off, no more masks. And these people would go, but take their masks off.
And I get back in my car and drive off.
You don't wear masks anymore. Look at the news.
I did that with everybody. Everybody. Guy pushing his little stroller with his kid and his wife. Take off your mask. Yeah, well, you did it to me. Remember last week? Mask, put your mask on. No, take your fucking mask off. And I encourage everyone to do that today. We all know masks are bullshit. We all know they don't work. Occasionally, especially not so much in this country, but there are people walking around with masks. Can everyone do that, please? Take off your mask. Don't be violent. Don't be too confrontational. Just do exactly to them as they did to you. It's the law. No more masks. That's the rules. Take it off. They might say no and walk off like I used to do when they told me to put one on. But You'd be surprised how quickly.
So I had a pretty simple process of not wearing a mask ever. I'd fill up my car with gas, not wear a mask, walk into the petrol station. They'd say mask. I'd say, I don't have one. They'd try and give me one. I say, I don't wear a mask. They said, I'm not going to serve you if you don't wear a mask. And I would say, very simply, is the gas free? Because I put gas in my car, I'm trying to pay for it. If you refuse payment, I assume it's free and I can leave. Is the gas free? You need mask, you need mask. No, I don't. I'm trying to pay. Do you want my money or not? And eventually they would capitulate, take my money, and that'd be the end of it. One time I went to the gas station. I did my usual, is the gas free? And some woman starts fucking screaming at me in Italian. I was in Italy. In Italian about my mask. Blah, 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 mask, blah, 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 mask. Then she says to her husband, what's his name? Mario, probably.
Yeah, Mario.
Probably. Luigi. And her husband, I could tell, because every man knows what I'm about to say here. You know when a woman's running her mouth and she asks you for backup, and you look at the problem she's getting in, and you're like, for fuck's sake. Her man looked at me and was like, shit. He was like, oh, no, not today. So he comes over and tries to be peacekeeper. Pasta. So I'm like, listen.
Buongiorno.
So I'm arguing with this woman. She's screaming at the top of her voice, shrieking like a banshee. And I came up with the best reply ever.
It was good.
It was good. I was like, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. Are you a doctor? Huh? I'm a doctor. Are you a fucking doctor? I'm a fucking doctor. I'm going to do about COVID. I'm a doctor. I'm saving lives. Get out of the way. I'm a doctor. And she shut up instantly and walked off. And I continued to the store without my mask. Got Pepsi, got Snickers, Red Bull, boom, coffee, bang, cigarettes, Big G, paid. The whole store is looking at me like 10 Italians, all these men with masks on. The chick is now confused. He's a doctor, COVID. I believe the medical establishment. He is the medical establishment. He's not afraid of COVID. My man can't fight him. He's too big. He's too strong. What do I do? Starts arguing with her man, and her man's kind of like, shut up. I don't want to get my ass kicked. And I paid and bust out of there. And I was like, from now on, I'm a doctor. So from then on out, when anyone said anything about masks, I was like, bro, you don't even know about masks. I'm a doctor. I'll tell you about COVID. You need to put 3 on. You're wearing 1 mask. You need at least 2. 1 mask doesn't work. And they will sit there and put 2 masks on while I wear none because I'm a doctor and they believed every word I said. Bruv, stupid people.
Resist the slave mind.
You need to resist the slave mind because otherwise you just get yelled at by big strong men that they're doctors and you just, what do you do?
I'm a doctor. Prove I'm not.
Resist the slave mind. I say a lot of things. I don't say names unless I mean it at that person. I'm no pussy. Bruv, pineapple, lemon, what? You feel me? If I want to say your name, I'll say your name. You think I give a fuck about anyone coming up to me saying I badmouth them? Try it. Top G for a reason. From the streets. Don't give a solitary shit. Don't care. If you have a problem with me, come make it a problem. And I'll deal with all of you. So if I say a name, I mean it. If I don't say your name, I don't mean it at you. If I say something derogatory and I don't say your name and then you find offense to it, what is that doing? That's applying negative stereotypes or negative viewpoints to yourself. Why would you do that? If someone came online and said, men who have muscles and talk shit are bad, but didn't say my name, I wouldn't come along and say, or stupid. I wouldn't come along and say, you called me stupid, because that makes me stupid. So we have no problem with anyone unless we say their name. I will say your name if I have a problem with you. Otherwise, stop trying to find offense where it doesn't exist because you want to get the clicks. The same you have beef with Tate. You don't have beef with me. If you had beef with me, you wouldn't be alive. Shut up. Right, everyone's complaining about the mic. So we're going to end this show. It's been a good show discussing men's rights.
Shout out to Lawrence Fox. That was a very good interview I was watching.
And continue to resist the slave mind and do the right thing. Be honorable, upright, standing citizens. Have an opinion. Defend it respectfully. Learn how to use verbal Aikido to destroy all your adversaries like I do. Be a nice person, which is the best way to win in the end. You can win with love and kindness. Only love destroys the matrix. You have to love your family and love God and love your nation. It's love that wins, not hate. We are people full of love, and when you're a man full of love, you're prepared to protect what you love. And smile every day, because you know what, Tristan?
You're not in jail.
You know what, T? They're trying very hard to lock us up. And they might succeed, because they think we're little rich kids.
Yeah.
They don't know we are from the streets. We are from the darkness.
Born in it, molded by it.
We were G's before we had money, before we were on the internet. We're not some fucking YouTuber cucks. We're not some little pussy holes. We are from that world. If I walk into jail, you're just sending me to all my friends. Everyone I ever grew up with and ever known is there. So if you want to hurt us with this law of fair matrix attack garbage, you and I will do exactly what we've always done, which is survive and persist and emerge like phoenixes from the ashes. Because we're bad boys. Bad boy president. Presidential badness. One more. Watermelon, lemon, pineapple. Jail. Take me to jail.
Jail.
Give a fuck. There was a stabbing in England. I know, no surprise, but there was a stabbing at a school called Lee Manor High School in Luton. You and I went to Lee Manor High School.
That was our high school.
And it's very sad to know that in the world we live in today, children who went to the same high school we went to are now killing each other, stabbing each other, shooting each other, whatever, over some bullshit, stupid beefs that kids have, as opposed to just having a fisticuffs and getting over it, or even better, not fighting in the first place, which is the best and smartest thing to do.
But when I was in that high school, it was fist fights. I didn't have to worry about knives. We had fist fights. That's what young men did.
This is a message to everybody in Lee Manor High School, specifically.
Lee Manor High School, Luton, Marsh Farm.
And I hope, even though the teachers have banned me from being discussed in school, I hope this message gets out there, because I understand that the teachers may not be intelligent enough or perspicacious enough to realize that nobody cares what they say, but I actually can resonate with the youth. I am from that school. I am now the top G. I am a billionaire. Please understand, I came from the most humble of possible beginnings. Single mother household on a council estate, going to a terrible school.
Manor High School.
And managed to become one of the most successful, brilliant, gorgeous, handsome, sexy men alive. And I did that through nothing other than unlimited hard work, perspicacity, determination, self-accountability. And stabbing people is always the wrong decision. To anybody who's still inside of Lee Manor High School, any of the cretins or the gangsters or the idiots who think they're tough guys walking around with knives, karma is real and God is real, and you will meet your demise. I can guarantee you.
You will not end up where I ended up. Coming from the same situation, you will never ever be on the private jets, in the 5 stars in Monaco, at the GP, in Dubai, in a $25 million penthouse. You will never ever be there if you even think it's a good idea to have a knife on you in case you need it. You don't. You need a fucking pencil and a fucking pen and a fucking piece of paper. That's what you need. You're in fucking school.
You need to pay attention to your teachers and learn and be disciplined and work hard. And the teachers may hate me and they may say that I'm bad, but if they had half a brain, they'd play this in assembly. Anybody in Lee Manor High School can look at me and my life and understand that every single thing I have and every single thing which is obtainable on the planet via finance is achievable because I have all of it. I came from the same place you've come from and I now have all of it. And I was never a piece of shit running around with a knife stabbing people. That drug life, that trap life, thinking you're gonna get rich, walking around with a knife, selling weed, you will never have real money. Real money is not in the hands of drug dealers. Real money is in the hand of legitimate businessmen who work hard. And if you actually got any real money, you'd understand how broke most drug dealers are. Having $2,000 in your pocket and a big blade is not a rich man. Rich men have millions and millions offshore, and you do not achieve it with a knife. I am so against knife crime. I've been talking anti-knife crime for 5 to 6 years, talking about how England is failing in real time because they do not take a hard line on this garbage and how it's getting out of control. Recently, when that girl was stabbed, some far-left psycho-feminist blamed me, saying that my hate of women is the reason these things are happening, which is completely disingenuous and we all know is false. And she was destroyed in the comments because everybody knows how anti-knife crime I am. And everybody also understands that masculine men with self-accountability do not do such heinous, feral actions. But I want this message to spread around Lee Manor High School. Even if your parents don't want you to see it, even if the teachers try and stop it, I want you all to have this on your phone and show your friends. I am from where you are from. And when I return to the UK, I'm going to pull up outside Lee Manor High School in my Bugatti out front and give you all a speech about obeying the law, respecting your parents, respecting teachers, and how crime does not pay. And this idiot, whoever he is, I hope he meets the harshest possible sentence that the UK courts can pass. Full life term. If you take somebody's life, you should face the maximum possible sentence, because all of this knife crime garbage is not going to end until we reply with an equal and opposite force to the feral actions of insanity. Lee Manor, you may be in a disingenuous situation, maybe a disadvantaged area, you may be in a bad school. We know your parents may not have money, your dad may not be at home. I understand all those things. That's where my brother and I are from, and we've conquered the entire world, and you can do absolutely anything. Do not let them tell you that you're disadvantaged. Do not let them tell you because of your skin color you can't be amazing. Don't let them tell you you can't get ahead in your life. It is all a lie. If you work hard, you can be anything you want to be, and I guarantee you carrying a knife is never going to benefit your life in any regard. Resist the slave mind.
I feel like a lot of people's minds are slowly waking up to the fact that a lot of the things you're told on the traditional news is a lie. The traditional media machine is nothing but a propaganda machine. And they're trying very hard to still keep control over us and keep influence over us. And they're doing that by, especially with the way societies work, especially with the way relationships work, with the way the children go to school, certain things they're keeping a very tight grip on because they know it's very important for their power. If you understand how Satanists work and think, Satanists believe in karmic retribution. They don't believe they're allowed to trick you. If you believe in Satan, if you worship Satan, if you're a Satanist, you believe it's important you tell people what you're going to do because then you will not pay the price. There'll be no karmic retribution for your actions. So let me give you an example. If I sell poison apples and I put up a sign saying apples and you buy one and you die, then you were poisoned. If I sell poison apples and I put up a sign saying poison apples and then you buy one and you die, you committed suicide. The fact that I told you what it was means I'm not guilty. I didn't murder you. You committed suicide. So when you do bad things, when you do evil things, the Satanist handbook, you can look this up yourself, the satanic religion says you have to make it clear to them what you're doing. And if they don't resist, if they don't stand up against it, then they are complicit. They're agreeing that what's happening is okay. So by telling you they're pedophiles and nobody do anything about it, they could sit there and go, well, everyone knew we're pedophiles. Look, it's obvious we're pedophiles and nobody cares. Which is also why it's so important we call them out. You can't sit here and be wishy-washy on some issues. You have to sit here and say, this is disgusting. These are children. They're being exploited. Balenciaga are pedophiles. It should be canceled absolutely with certain language. Both of you have very large profiles and platforms. But this is crime. That's like saying somebody's canceled for murder or rape. This is a crime.
Yes.
They're committing a crime, and they're elites which see themselves beyond reprehension. They're elites that see themselves beyond the law. We understand that the Western world is completely corrupt from head to toe. There's private islands where terrible things happen. These private islands are in close leagues with people who are running these fashion brands. This is absolutely disgusting. With children are being exploited, lives are being ruined. They're trying to show you, because they worship Satan, what they're doing, and they're trying to tell the world what they're doing so they don't face any repercussion for it. They're also trying to assault your consciousness and destroy your baseline morality to make a slave of you. This is beyond cancel culture.
Absolutely.
This is not some simple bullshit. This is a big deal. Good question. So I truly believe that people still run the world because we decide how much we tolerate. And we're unfortunately too tolerant of too much garbage, but we still do have control over the world. On an individual level, I can tell people how to escape the matrix, but on a societal level, it's far more complicated because the unfortunate reality is not everybody can escape. You need some people to believe in the system completely, because if everybody didn't believe in the system, then society would break down. Nobody would want to do some bullshit job, right? Like, it would all be gone. But as a whole, people certainly need to learn to reject the slave mind and reject the information that is told to them from the news, understand that's all a lie. People need to stand up for the obvious injustices they see. They need to state in clear language that Balenciaga are pedophiles, for example. That's very important for humanity, for it's clear. It's important that they control your speech because you're not going to think what you don't say. And this is how they control what people think, by controlling what people say in the first place. So that's very important. But on an individual level and on a societal level, they're different things. On an individual level, I think it's very important for you to be a sovereign individual, which is hard to do, especially in the modern world, but you need to have finances. It's hard to be free when you're broke. That finance needs to be in places or come from streams which can't be affected or canceled or turned off by the matrix machine. You need to be financially free. You need a strong network. You need good friends. You need to be anti-fragile. You need to be available to travel around the world, many passports. There's a whole bunch of things you can set up as an individual. But for the people watching at home, they just need to sit and understand that the system does not make rules for the good of you. It makes rules for the good of the people who make the rules. And a lot of the life paths and systematic processes that are laid out to the average man at home today is not for their own good. It's only going to lead them to depression and misery. It's for the good of the system. It's not globally, there's no way to overcome the matrix. I'm saying society would actually function better if some people do believe. So I'll give you an example during COVID, right? When I was walking around during COVID and I saw all these people wearing masks, I was flabbergasted that anybody gave a shit about any of this crap. I couldn't believe people were wearing masks. I was like, why are you wearing a mask? But then you have to understand that if these people who can be so easily convinced to muzzle themselves, these are the exact same people you need to do a whole bunch of important roles in society that people who are free-minded don't want to do. You need people inside the matrix to be soldiers and go die in a ditch, right? You need people inside the matrix to stand in a gas station and really care about mopping that floor. So you need these kind of people, right? So, and you're saying, what are we trying to do? What we're trying to do is speak to the sovereign individuals or the people who are capable of having a free mind and help them escape. Just like in the movie The Matrix, Morpheus says, not everybody can escape. Not everybody can. Most people are dependent on the system. They'll fight to defend it. But some people have their minds ready to be freed. But you need checks and balances. We definitely need a system. Every system of control is always going to be full of lies. They're always going to lie to us to a degree to benefit themselves. You're never going to have absolute freedom. You're never going to have absolute truth. But you do need checks and balances to that system to prevent complete tyranny. You need a contingent of people who are free, who fight back and talk against the matrix. People like me, people who support me, those who are particularly free thinking. Those are the people you need to keep some kind of power balance in place. Yeah. If I didn't exist and people who thought like me didn't exist and nobody spoke up, then it would just be absolute tyranny. And then Balenciaga could just be pedophiles forever. There have to be people to stand up and say no and push back. Yeah. In life, it doesn't matter where. In life, if there's no checks and balances, if there's no equal and opposite force, everything becomes tyrannical. So I think money is related to power, but in and of itself, it's not the only thing that makes somebody powerful. No. But just on the checks, and I'll answer that in more detail in a second, but on the checks and balances question, if the ocean doesn't reach a point of equal and opposite force, it will just engulf the entire planet, right? There has to be an equal and opposite force at some point. I'm not talking about freeing every single person from the matrix. I'm talking about freeing enough people who are ready to understand how the world really works so that there is an equal and opposite force to the tirade of bullshit, the absolute clown world bullshit they're trying to push on all of us. If nobody stands up to it, we're going to end up just fucking swallowing it all. Yeah. It's garbage. So you need to have an equal army on the other side. Those are my people. I don't work for the Matrix. I'm the opposite. I'm Morpheus. I'm here to free the minds. We're the free people who hack into the Matrix and fight against the agents and the machines. As for money being power, money is certainly related to power, but the true power of the world is influence. I am currently one of the most powerful people on the planet. I can influence millions and millions and millions of young people with my mouth alone by speaking. That's why they fear me. That's what my power is. I can sit here and say the sky is green. And if I say it enough, people will begin to believe it. That's power. Power is influence. And every single thing that's happening in the world today, whether it's a pitched battle in Ukraine and Russia, whether it's the garbage they put on the news, whether it's the video you watch on YouTube, all of it is done with the goal of exerting influence on your mind. They're trying to control what you think. They're trying to control why you think it, why you believe it. They're trying to convince you that they haven't even put propaganda into your mind. And it's all a battle for influence. And we have two armies, two battles of influence against each other. Yeah, well, it's not just media, right? Because if the media convinces everybody else, then it becomes real. You can step away from media during COVID, but you walk outside, everyone had a mask on, so you're still stuck, right? So yeah, I agree. It's good to step away from media, think for yourself, etc. But most people are not smart enough. Most people are not intelligent enough to self-analyze and defrag their own brains and understand they're being programmed. Yeah. Most people do not have that level of intellect to sit there and say, every strongly held opinion that I have, where did it come from? Who told me it? And do they have my best interests at heart? You didn't like me, for example. No, it's fine. I actually find it's great for me to make points. So I'm glad you didn't like me. I don't like Andrew Tate. Why? Well, they told me not to like him. Who told me? Well, these people. Do they care about me? No. Most people don't get an opinion and break down where it even comes from. They just get an opinion and they defend it. And you'll see people arguing and fighting in the street over opinions they don't even know where they've come from in the first place. Most people are not intelligent enough for that. So everybody and everything you consume is going to influence you to a degree. The mass media machine is trying to influence everyone. I'm trying to influence everyone. Yeah. I'm right here trying to influence people. I'll sit here and say, I'm trying to influence people at home. I just like to think that those at home understand, yeah, Tate's influencing me, but he is living a life I want to live. He has better intentions. He has a purer heart than the mass media machine and the horrible people. No. Let's stop for a second. So no, that's a good point, but let's get it in context. I did not say that girls above a certain age are horrible people. Yeah. I did not say girls above a certain age are useless. I said girls above a certain age are less attractive than girls who are younger because of innocence. Now you're particularly innocent, but you're also you're in a very good family and a very good culture in the best country in the world. I'm talking about the Western world. And in the Western world, there's no girl at age, 32 in Las Vegas who is pure. Not a single one on the planet. So we can't sit here and apply what I'm talking about for the Western world to the Middle Eastern world. That's the first thing. Second thing, we can't say I'm saying women are horrible when I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the attractiveness of women. And thirdly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to people, and nobody else should sit at home and lie and pretend that innocence is not attractive in females. Men find innocent women attractive. This is why virginity is coveted. This is why you've protected yourself and made sure you've stayed a good woman. woman. This is why all good women do the exact same thing. And in the Western world, as time goes on, women lose their innocence pretty quickly. I'm not going to sit here and say that's not the case, because it's absolutely and utterly the case. It's fact. But perhaps I'm just very good at thwarting their attempts. You know, maybe I'm just hard to catch. There's certainly been some interesting situations, but I'm not going to talk about them here on the podcast. I'm under attack every single day. They're attacking my character. They're attacking my integrity. They're attacking my finances. They're attacking my freedom. They're attacking my companies. Every single day I wake up and there are people on the planet whose goal is to attempt to destroy me. So I am under attacks. I also have to be very careful how I answer some of these questions, because if I give too many details,
it might mess up the deal.
Well, it destroys my power, right? So for the real world, when I was attacked by the mass matrix machine, they also attacked Hustlers University, which was my online school that teaches people how to make money online. We have 18 modern wealth creation methods. We teach everything from the things you know about crypto, stocks, copywriting, etc., to some ideas people have never heard of. We grew exceptionally large. We had people who were making a lot of money inside the school. We had 150,000 students. So when they canceled me, they also tried to attack my business. They deleted the payment processing, deleted the banking, etc. So when we've relaunched as the real world, escape the matrix, come to the real world.
Is it launched now?
It's launched, therealworld.ai. It's now fully online. It's fully functioning. We have 161,000 people. We have completely built our own app, our own social media platform. It's not hosted anywhere else. I have my own bank, which has a payment processor included. So absolutely everything about the system is outside of the matrix. From the second you pay to the place you end up where you're talking to people and taking lessons, none of it is controlled by matrix control platforms. It is absolutely the real world, which means I control it completely.
I need some money.
I was kind of up and down. I was working in the fish market, but I was still fighting at the same time. I was training. Obviously, I was really young. Started to make a little bit of money fighting, but not much. And then I had different jobs. I sold television advertising and worked for an advertising company, etc. And I had my own business for a while trying to sell TV advertising, and I had a bunch of sales jobs back and forth, worked for car sales. I'd always been doing this and that, going from place to place. Unless it was a sales job, I never really took it that seriously because it was the unlimited commission that I found attractive. But outside of sales jobs, I just did my very best to do a little bit of work and just sit at my desk and ignore most of it. But I did a whole bunch of things. It's been an eclectic, long, interesting journey to end up. Let's talk about this, right? Because net worth in and of itself is bullshit. Because how do you quantify net worth? It's nearly impossible.
It's a valuation, right?
It's a valuation, and the valuations are all skewed. I am certainly worth more than $1 billion. I can tell you why. One, for the things I own, which I'm not going to say here on camera, right? Which is a bunch of it. Two, for the companies I have and the amount of money they generate. Once again, I won't say on camera because nobody would believe me even if I told them. But third, what were we saying earlier in this podcast? We were talking about how the most important thing on the planet is power, not money. It's influence. I'm the most influential person on the planet amongst the number one demographic that the Matrix wants control over, which is military-age males. I can talk and people will listen. I'm the most Googled name on the planet. I could take a perfume and sell $1 billion of perfume in a month. If I wanted to sell my soul, which I've never done because I've never sold trash to anybody. I've never sold a crypto pump and dump like everybody else has. I've never sold any shit to nobody. All I sell is my university because it's fantastic and I can stick by it and it has 5-star reviews all over Google. So I don't sell shit to anybody, but I could pump a crypto coin to billions of dollars. I could do anything for any brand. And the number of brands who have come to me trying to make me align with them, and I've said no because I don't truly believe in it. I'm the kind of person who can't be bought. You cannot buy my soul. If I don't truly believe, I won't sell it to anybody. I am 100% with the amount of influence I have. And how do you quantify influence from a net worth perspective? How do you take the most Googled man in the world who has the most influence on the planet? How do you put that into dollars? It's difficult.
I'd say how much money you're making now, potential 10x it approximately.
Bro, I'm a billionaire.
You're a billionaire.
100%.
Talking about crypto, would you ever make your own crypto coin?
I love crypto, right? It's great. Bitcoin, ETH, go transact across country borders, blah, blah. It's fantastic. I've made some money on a pump. Everyone loves a pump. The problem with crypto is that it's player versus player. A lot of people don't understand this about crypto. And it's actually very funny because when people launch these crypto coins, they get these Telegram groups and they get these communities. And you go into community and everyone in the community is like, yeah, we're all going to make it together. Da-da. And I look at these communities, I'm like, no. Those are your competitors. Those people are who's going to buy it when you sell it for more than you bought it for. Like, you're all against each other. So they try this community crap so the person at the top can just dump on them. The truth is about crypto is it's player versus player. If I buy a coin for $1, the only reason I can sell it for $10 is because someone else buys it for 10. It can't go up forever. The guy who buys it at 10 is going to lose eventually. So if I launch a crypto coin, I have to understand that a percentage of the people who buy it, a percentage of my fans are going to lose money in my name. I don't like the idea of people losing money in my name. Now, I'm not saying I would never launch a coin. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is my reservation on the whole thing, because I know if somebody joins my university and works hard, even if they only make $300 a month, for example. It only costs them $50 a month. So they make more money than they invest. Nobody can lose by associating with my brand. Yeah. This is why my brand's so powerful. Everybody who is a Tate fan and truly listens to my words is in better physical shape, better financial shape, better mental health they've ever been in their lives. Yeah. Becoming a Tate fan is a life hack to improving your life. You cannot possibly lose by listening to me in any regard. Yeah. Whereas with a crypto coin, some people will lose money. And I can't sleep at night knowing that my fans lose money. I don't want that. I'm not a scammer. I'm not one of these. I'm not Logan Paul. I don't sell crypto pump and dumps. I'm not a piece of shit. I want everybody who's associated with me to win and only win. So for that reason, I would be extremely hesitant about launching a crypto coin. And the day I do it, if I decide to do it, there's going to be a lot of checks and balances and absolute transparency to make sure that nobody loses money. We have NFTs now. So at topg.com, we have an experiment in which you can get a free NFT with a piece of merch, and we do limited runs of merch. We do like 100 t-shirts and they sell out with really quickly. And if you buy the t-shirt, you get a free NFT, and the NFTs are completely free and they've already got a floor price and they're already starting to be traded for a lot of money. So people are getting free NFTs in my name with merchandise. We're doing that. And I'll do that because the NFT is free. So nobody can ever say they lost because you got it free. Yeah. You got it free and you sold it for $500. You win, right? Yeah. So we're doing that with the merchandise. The coin I'm thinking about, but all in all, my biggest intention is to expand the university and by extension, expand the war room on the top of that, which is my private network. And those two things are things that nobody can possibly ever lose from. It was just giving an example, and I was trying to explain that in the world we live in, as beautiful and diverse as it is, there is no such thing as a benefit without obviously an equal and opposite force, which is going to be a downside. So the benefit of a supercar is that it's a very high performance and it's very good looking and it comes with a lot of status. But the downside is, of course, the cost and the reliability. Yeah. And it's less functional overall than a less beautiful car. And the point I was trying to make is that if you want a very high status, flashy man, he's going to come with some downsides. There's going to be some detriment to that. Yeah. Same with a beautiful woman, right? If you get a beautiful woman, beautiful women have bad tempers because they're beautiful and everyone puts up with them. So it's just how it goes, right? So if you want to have a really beautiful car, if you have a McLaren, it's going to break down sometimes. If you don't want your car to ever break down, then you have to sacrifice the speed and the looks and go for a Toyota and you get something more reliable. Well, first from atheism, the first thing you have to do is accept that God is real. So I got there by seeing and being exposed to all the evil and degeneracy in the world. There's an equal and opposite force, Newton's third law. Yeah. For everything, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The equal and opposite reaction to pure satany and debauchery and disgusting degeneracy has to be God, which proves that God must exist. I guess I naturally reverted to Christianity because I was raised as a Christian when I was a child and I was living in a Christian country, but I always had a very healthy respect for Islam. Even for many years, I was talking about how much I respect Islam. And then over time, you understand that for you to truly worship and believe in a religion, you have to respect a religion. And I had more respect for Islam than I ever had for Christianity. And that's where you ended up becoming a Muslim. Now, I'm certainly not an Islamic scholar by any regard. I don't want to be, since I've reverted, a lot of people ask me very detailed questions. I'm on a journey like everybody else. I'm new to this like everybody else. I'm not here to quote the Quran. I don't understand a lot of it yet. I'm just studying like everybody else is. But I have a very healthy respect for the belief system, and that's why I understood it's the place for me to be. Yes, I've always had Islamic friends. So I grew up in the Islamic Republic of Great Britistan. So I understand that.
What?
Yeah. You never heard of it?
No, I've not. The Great Republic of...
The Islamic Republic of Great Britistan.
Britistan.
Yeah.
Never heard of that one.
Londonistan is its capital. Yeah. So I grew up in an Islamic country, effectively. Everybody I knew was Muslim, and England is an Islamic country now, de facto. It's completely Islamic. So I grew up with a bunch of very close Muslim friends, and I've always been not envious, but certainly I've had a large amount of adoration for their respect for their families, respect for their culture, their brotherhood, the way they operate. I've always thought it's the fantastic way to be. Yeah. And it's been a very long, ongoing conversation. I've been exposed to the religion and people who were Muslim for a very long time. So I know, and that's terrible. I don't know I can't think of anybody who's specifically done that, but if that's happening, then it's absolutely disrespectful. But God knows the truth of our hearts, right? Yeah. So I know that my reversion is sincere. I understand that because I'm in the public eye, there's going to be some degree of people who question it, but I know that mine's completely sincere, and the people who do it in a non-sincere way, God knows the truth, and they're not going to be able to fool him, so good luck. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I have a very small circle, but every single one of my friends has a utility. Like, we're all very capable individuals. We're all doing very important things. We all help each other and aid each other in different ways. Yeah. I don't have any friends just to sit around and talk shit and do nothing.
Yeah.
So I guess in many ways, people would say, oh, well, Andrew, you have family and business partners, but I consider them my friends. We have a very small network of 5, maybe 6 people. And yeah, they're my friends. I'm not the kind of person who can fall victim to some random
Fake
stroking
friends.
my ego, and I'm not a dummy. Like I know a lot of people get rich and they're dummies. That's not me.
You don't have yes men around.
I don't have any new friends. I have the same circle I've always had. In fact, it's getting smaller by the day. It gets smaller, not bigger. I don't have these random friends I party with. None of this kind of. You'd have to be useful to me because I think every single relationship in the world needs to be a value exchange. Yeah. I provide value by default by being me. That's who I am. I'm a capable and competent individual.
Yeah.
If you're going to be my friend, you need to provide some value to my life. Now, a lot of people, when they have friends, the value that's provided by their friend is that their friend makes them laugh or that their friend is funny. Well, I don't need that crap. I'm busy, right? So I need someone who's actually useful to me at real things. So, no, but it's true. And it's not a shallow way to look at it because people say that's shallow. Not at all. I think that in true friendship, in true relationships, whether it's man-woman or man-man or woman-woman, there needs to be an exchange of value. People need to both gain and receive value, and that's how you build true friendships. So you need to become useful to me. And the problem with doing that is that I already have extremely useful people around me. We can already do everything. I don't really need friends. More. I don't need anybody. So when someone comes and goes, hey, I'd love to know you. Why? What do you want to do? Sit around, talk shit? Like what? What do you want to do?
It's more like, hey.
What do you want to do? Like I'm trying to do X, Y, Z. I'm fighting the Matrix. Can you fight the Matrix? Can you fight? Balenciaga are coming. Can you shoot? Like, if they can't do anything, I don't want to hang around with these people. No, but you know what's actually kind of funny?
What?
There are people you can trust with your life, but you couldn't trust with women.
Okay.
And there's people you could trust with your life that you couldn't trust with money. I'm telling you, this is true. I know guys right now who will go to war with me and die on the street beside me in a knife fight, but I would never lend him 100 pounds. So it's difficult. So when you're saying trust, you mean completely trust in all realms?
Yeah.
That would be about 4. But if I had to raise an army in certain spheres, I might be able to stretch that to 10.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Okay.
And the truth is, you have to be a logical actor. When you're creating your life and constructing your life, if you're playing the game of chess, you need to make the moves which have the best possible advantage for you and the least possible advantages to your opponent, right?
Yeah.
You have to stop leaving yourself open to be destroyed. And the problem with the Western world is that marriage can destroy you. Marriage can destroy you. It's designed to destroy the man the second it doesn't work out well. So it's not very intelligent to sit and decide in America,
but
I love this woman.
No, not in America.
There's a really long answer to give there. But truthfully, it doesn't matter if it's getting a girl or it's making money or it's getting status. It doesn't matter what it is. As a man, we live in hyper-competitive environments. I don't think enough men understand how competitive the world is. If you want a girl, you're competing against other men. You're not the only man who had the idea of getting that girl. There's no girl you're going to see and go, I'll get that girl, and didn't cross anyone else's mind. Everybody else wants her. You have to outcompete other men. You have to be as competitive as possible. You have to be as successful as possible in all realms. You have to be as good-looking, as funny, as smart, as spontaneous, as interesting, as charismatic, as rich as possible. You need to try very hard to be your absolute best. And as you become a better man, you'll crack through different tiers of attractiveness, and eventually you get to the top and you'll be able to have any girl you want. But the truth is, I have a lot of guys ask me, similar to your question, a guy will come to me and go, how do I get a girl? I'm like, bro, you're a loser. Yeah, but I know, but how do I get a girl? Well, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser. Why are you asking me? It's like saying, how do I win a race with a push bike? You're racing Ferraris. What do you want me to do? Yeah. There's only so much you can do. There's only so hard you can pedal. There's only so many tricks and tips. There's only so many game things you can say, so many pickup lines. If you're a loser, it's going to be very, very difficult, and it's going to get harder and harder. The game is rigged to become harder and harder for men. It's not getting easier. It's going the other way. And if you're going to be on a racetrack and there's going to be Ferraris there, and you're going to be on a pedal bike or in a Nissan, you're going to get smoked. That's the game. You have to up yourself. You have to improve yourself. I'm not going to lie to anybody here and say you don't have to improve yourself. You can stay a loser and get chicks, because you can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
Question:
What women want from men? Well, the first thing we have to understand is that it depends, right? Of course it depends. It depends on how old the woman is, what part of her life she's in, if she's looking for excitement, adventure, or she's looking for a family and to settle down. It completely depends. But in general, if a woman is going to dedicate herself to a man, then that man has to be all-encompassing. He has to be a man who can fix most of her problems. He needs to provide stability and safety, which everybody knows, but not many people consider that he also has to provide drama for her. He also has to be entertaining for her. If a woman only talks to you and you're the only man in her life, and there's never any drama or there's never any I wouldn't say conflict. I'm not saying necessarily start an argument, but if there's never any drama, because drama is excitement, then they're going to naturally try and find drama somewhere else. And that always ends very badly for the man. You don't want them to try and find drama outside of the relationship.